7:45 a.m. as we bring you all of the latest happening making news in Liberia and elsewhere. It's Freedom News Basket, your companion.
Freedom Evening News Basket at 1900 hour from the intersection of Kiri and Clay Streets in Monrovia. Good evening. Welcome to Freedom Evening News Basket. 45-minute production of news, interviews, counterviews, comments, and in-depth reports about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our global village. Today is Thursday, June 6, 2024. My name is Higa Gonda. I am covering tonight's edition of Freedom Evening News Basket. In the top developments we following, Supreme Court of Liberia places stay order on President Joseph Boakai's executive order number 126, creating the asset recovery team. As part of its efforts in giving back to its listeners, Radio Entertainment Liberia Limited, in partnership with Freedom Radio Liberia, presents a brand new motorbike to the first winner of the Freedom Motorbike Giveaway Jackpot. AFL Wives Association dispels rumors or reports of a planned protest action beginning this Friday, terms the information as false and misleading. In a way from whom at least 150 people are feared dead in a massacre in a village in central Sudan, blamed on the Rapid Support Forces or the RSF, the paramilitary group fighting the army, according to the BBC. The details of these developments, plus other local and international stories, the voices of those behind the news, are all anticipated on tonight's edition of the program. At this juncture, we cross over to the news center where Thomas Kojo is seated to factor in the full bulletin of news. Kojo, good evening, welcome.
A pleasant good evening to you here, and good evening to everyone. The Supreme Court of Liberia has placed the order on President Joseph Boakai, Executive Order number 126, creating the Access Recovery Team. The High Court, June 4, 2024 actions, according to our judicial correspondent, were triggered by a petition filed by Gracious Rye Incorporated, cautioning the unconstitutionality of President Boakai's order that gave birth to the Access Recovery Team. As a result of Gracious Rye petition, the High Court has mandated Justice Minister to appear and file his return on or before June 10, 2024 to the full bench of the Supreme Court to show cause why the petitioner's petition should not be granted. The court also stop all proceedings in action on the Liberian leader executive order until the matter can be disposed by the court as provided by law. Following the court order, the head of the Access Recovery Team, Councillor Edwin Mountain, Thursday told our judicial correspondent that he is not deterred by the court decision. He added that he will join the Attorney General and proceed to the court to defend President Boakai Executive Order 126. As the Mountain cited Chapter 2, Articles 5, Section C of the 1986 Constitution as the legal reliance in defending the Liberian leader Executive Order 126. Radio Entertainment Liberia Limited, in partnership with Freedom Radio Liberia, has presented a brand new motorbike to the first winner of the Freedom Motorbike Giveaway Jackpot. Radio Entertainment Liberia is a platform licensed by the National Lottery Authority of Liberia to run daily radio raffles. Speaking during the presentation ceremony at the compound of Freedom Communications Incorporated on Thursday in Monrovia, Radio Entertainment Liberia Operation Manager Cherry Charlie lauded Freedom Radio for partnering with the entity. She said the presentation of the bike is an affirmation of the commitment that the entity made to the Liberian people, thus assuring how entity will work to ensure the homegrown company be the future digital gaming service within the country. Also speaking, Freedom FM Deputy Director General Wendell Nimnan lauded Radio Entertainment Liberia for the gift and pledged his institutional commitment to working with the entity. The Sixth Judiciary Circuit Court in Gbapolo County has acquitted two defendants who were accused on allegations of murder. Defendant John Stewart and Francis Johnning were acquitted on Thursday by Judge Wisse Edwise during the bench trial within the county. Judge Wisse, June 6, ruling according to our judicial correspondent, claimed that the pieces of evidence adduced in court by the prosecuting lawyers were weak and empty to convict the defendants for the crime of murder. Our judicial correspondent further said that defendants John Stewart and Francis Johnning broke down in tears when their acquitted verdict was announced by the court following 2 years within prison. The two defendants were among several persons indicted by the government for allegedly killing one John Yasyad on September 27, 2023 in Bobo Village, Bapolu County. The Secretary General of the Opposition Coalition for Democratic Change, Jefferson Kojit, has accused President Joseph Boakai of not being in charge of the government. The former Monrovia City Mayor said, with the ongoing misunderstanding in the Unity Party government, he believes that the Liberian leader is lacking behind in terms of the governance of the state. Addressing a press conference Thursday at the party headquarters in Congo-town, Kojit said failure on the part of President Boakai to take action of the government, the CDC, and other members of the opposition will rise up for the common people. He alleged that the Boakai's government has mismanaged the country in less than 6 months of its leadership. At the same time, Jefferson Kojit wants embassy near Monrovia and the Liberia Council of Churches to intervene into the constant denial of former President George Weah from using the VIP lodge at the Rabos International Airport. Early Thursday, it was reported by Vision TV that former President George Weah would deny the new VIP lodge while on his way to Accra, Ghana, which believes that the ongoing situation has the propensity to cause upheaval within the country if care is not taken. The plenary of the House of Representatives has invited Defense Minister and the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of Liberia over complaint of demolition of several properties along the Duazon area by AFL personnel on the order of the Minister of National Defense. Plenary took the decision Thursday after receiving 3 separate complaints from citizens of Duazon through their direct representative Roland. In their communication to the plenary, the citizen complained that on May 30th, 2024, some armed personnel led by Colonel Roland Murphy demolished their properties on the land where the Millennium Construction Company is situated. Meanwhile, following the reading of the communication, a motion was proffered by Sando County District 3 Representative Edis Noan to have both the Defense Minister and the Chief of Staff appear in plenary next Tuesday, 11 June. Still more news from the plenary of the House of Representatives has mandated its leadership to invite the Minister of Finance Development Planning on claims of elections within the 2024 national budget. Plenary took the decision Thursday through a communication from Clarence Guy of District Number 5, Maikibi County. In his communication, the Maikibi County lawmaker claimed that illegal annotation was made in the 2024 national budget law and asked his colleagues to recall it. The guy made specific example to a decision that the legislative budget offered be replaced by the Public Account Committee. It can be recalled that at the end of the 2024 national budget deliberation, a motion was made by Representative James Collette of District 2, Bon County, in which he stated where or in the 2024 national budget law are written that LBO should be replaced with the PAC, which was unanimously voted and passed into law. Following the floor debate, the plenary agreed upon a motion from Representative Ivan Jones that the communication be forwarded to the House leadership to handle the matter and that the Minister of Finance appear with copy of the budget within 1 week. The National Identification Registry is expected to hold discussion with the National Elections Commission on the possibility of working together in assigning one number and sharing data to curb tracking during future elections. The NRI Executive Director Andrews Peter disclosed that to implement this proposal, the identification registry will be importing over 2 million blank cards to work with the NEC on ensuring that all data for eligible voters be shared and assigned with just a single number. Addressing a press conference in Congotown, Peter said the assign of one number for NN services will automatically negate purpose for tracking of voters. The National Identification Registry Executive Director is therefore encouraging international partners to assist his entity in undertaking the worthy endeavor, as he claims. Youth and Sports Minister Jarako Bangalu has called for a complete halt on what he termed as child exploitation by foster and step parents within the country. He said the habit of foster parents in rural part of the country purposely to take children under the pretense of sending them to school and still use them as breadwinners constitute intended human trafficking. Minister Bangalu made the statement at the launch of the National Coalition of Enhancing National Youth, Peace and Security Capacity by the United Nations Population Fund in collaboration with the Ministry of Youth and Sports in Monrovia on Thursday. Remarks the resident representative of the United Nations Population Fund, Balaj Pan, said the National Action Plan serves as a critical tool to guide development and the implementation of youth security and their agenda across Liberia. The deliberation, which brought together a cross-section of organization, is expected to come to an end this Friday. The management of Sky International Insurance Corporation has denied reports in the public that the institution is issuing fake documents to motorcyclists across the country. It can be recalled on Wednesday, motorcyclists protested at the Ministry of Transport about insurance companies providing them fake documents amid regulations by the Liberia National Police on motorcyclists and tricyclists across the country. The Sky Insurance Corporation was one of the companies accused by motorcyclists of providing fake documents within the public. But speaking to a team of journalists Thursday, the underwriters of the company, Mosi Vekbe, said Sky Insurance is not involved in such act as being speculated within the public. According to him, the company has put measures in place to arrest those who usually fake the company's documents. Former Ghanaian international soccer star Michael Essien is calling on the Liberian government and political leaders to collectively get involved with the fight to eradicate polio within the country. Addressing a team of local and international journalists in Monrovia Wednesday, Essien stressed that the participation of the Liberian government and all political leaders in the fight against polio disease across the country is key, and it plays a major role in eradicating the disease. He noted that the consideration of this call by major policymakers in the country, including parents, political actors, and institutions, will help children stay alive and remain healthy. The former Chelsea and Real Madrid midfielder urged key policy actors to take the necessary sacrifices by getting more engaged with the process and motivate kids to get vaccinated. He emphasized the need for all family or parents of children affected by polio disease in Liberia and across Africa to ensure their kids are vaccinated, underscoring the significance of polio vaccinations in Africa. Also speaking, the UNICEF representative of the Liberia, Annie Brooks, said the selection of Michael Essien was in line with the UN Bali strategies aimed at funding potential individuals within the brand recognition to articulately spread its message to target areas within the African region. He remarks consider Jarako Bangalu, who is the Youth and Sports Minister, termed the presence of Michael Essien in Liberia as a boost for the country and sent a message in the fight to eradicate polio within the country. Scores of national stakeholders in Bento City, rural Moserado County, have recommended a process leading to the recruitment of would-be beneficiaries of the penny loan by the Liberia Women Empowerment Project. On Thursday, 6 June 2024, the Liberia Women Empowerment Project, implemented by the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, began a week-long national consultation and stakeholder engagement in Bento City following the 2-day Artington respective areas where the program started. The US $44.6 million World Bank sponsored project is affecting 6 climate vulnerable counties, including Moserado, and targets over 200 people in over 750 communities and 36,000 of the beneficiaries tend to be supported from their livelihood grants, providing serious recommendations to ensure a transparent recruitment process of the qualified individuals for the grant. The stakeholder urged the Liberia Women Empowerment Project to go beyond just the collections of individuals and organization data. They stressed that the project implementers should do double checks of who be beneficiaries, identify their businesses, legitimate members, and further ensure the initiative reaches the needed people. And the Army Wife Association of Liberia has dispelled rumors of a planned protest action by the association. Speaking in an interview with the station Thursday in Monrovia, the immediate former president of the association, Red Walker, said at no time the institution has planned a protest against the presidency of Joseph Yoman Boakai. According to her, the group or individual planning to protest is not a part of the Army Wife Association of Liberia, adding that such group should desist from using the name of the association in any planned protest. She said the information parading in some corridors of the media and the public is false and misleading, and said it is only intended to defame the high-earned character of the Army Wife Association. That's the shape of the bulletin of news. It's back to you, Heka Konda, for the continuation of Freedom Even News Basket.
Many thanks to Thomas Kojo Rolak for the news bulletin. And this news just coming in says the Grievance and Disciplinary Committee of the Sports Writers Association of Liberia, or SUA, has released its findings from an investigation of complaints filed against 3 members of the association, including Freedom FM sports reporter Thomas Kojo Rolak. The detail of that will come up in our subsequent newscast here on Freedom FM. Now to the voices of those behind the news. Radio Entertainment Liberia Limited, in partnership with Freedom Radio Liberia, has presented a brand new motorbike to the first winner of the Freedom Motorbike Giveaway Jackpot. Radio Entertainment Liberia is a platform licensed by the National Lotteries Authority of Liberia to run daily radio raffles. Speaking during the presentation ceremony at the compound of Freedom FM in Monrovia Thursday, Radio Entertainment Liberia Operations Manager Cheryl Charles lauded Freedom FM for partnering with her entity.
On behalf of Radio Entertainment Liberia, I would like to extend a heartfelt gratitude to Freedom FM and our partnering radio stations. We initially started off by giving 2,500 Liberian dollars to winners. We then moved on to 4,000 Liberian dollars on some programs, while some program was 5,000 Liberian dollars. We later introduced our weekly Friday jackpot, which is 20,000 Liberian dollars. The entry amount is $1.50 or 200 Liberian dollars. From what you have seen today, David Koko, who is a motorbike rider, won himself a brand new motorbike just by placing in a 300 Liberian dollars bet. Who knows? You could be the next winner. All you have to do is placing your bet this Wednesday or every other Wednesday to be that lucky winner. To the general public, we are working on interesting gaming platform which will be announced in due time. We encourage you all to continue playing across every other station we are partnering with in Liberia.
Also speaking, Freedom FM Deputy Director General Wendell Ninian lauded Radio Entertainment Liberia for the gift and pledged his institution's commitment to continue working with the entity. He further emphasized the importance of the radio game and encouraged the public to keep playing.
I want to use this time to say good afternoon to everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you for taking up your time to come and grace this occasion. We want to say firstly to our partner, Radio Entertainment Liberia, They are partnering with us, Freedom Communications Incorporated, Freedom Radio and TV. And today marks a historic day for the two institutions. Today we are about to present to the winner for our motorbike jackpot on the 6th day of June. And not to take much of your time, we want to say at this point, we are so overwhelmed. We are very happy to be here this afternoon because this new radio game, a lot of people been doubting that it's fake, it's not real. But I think from what we are about to demonstrate today is a clear indication that what we are about to present this motorbike to the winner who won this motorbike on yesterday. This motorbike, as you can see, Freedom Motorbike Jackpot, where you have to dial the *799 *14 hatch, and then you follow the instructions. So the winner followed the instruction. That's why today he is about to be presented a motorbike. So in short, we want to say thank you for coming. I will turn over.
For his part, the winner of the motorbike, David Kokolo, thanked Radio Entertainment Liberia and Freedom FM for providing him the opportunity to win the prize.
My name is David Kokolo. It's so clean, happy so far. Yeah, so fast. I don't even know the words to use, but I just want to encourage other people to playing the radio game. You will continue to win. As you play, you will continue to win. So don't feel discouraged. You can keep playing this game. It is true that this game is a true game. It is not a 419. So keep playing until you can be a winner.
David Kokolo is the first winner of a brand new motorbike that was given on today by Radio Entertainment Liberia in partnership with Freedom Radio Liberia. The Army Wives Association of Liberia has dispelled rumors of a planned protest action by the association. Speaking in an interview with this station Thursday in Monrovia, the immediate former president of the association, Teridon Rare Walker, said at no time has the association planned a protest against the presidency. According to her, the group or individuals planning to protest is not a part of the Army Wives Association of Liberia, adding that such group should desist from using the name of the association in any planned protest.
Hearing things that the Army wife want to come out to protest, in fact, block the convoy of the president. That is not true. We have no intention of doing that. We are not hearing things about that. I think people know that we've been bereaved in the barracks. We are disturbed because of the death of one of our husbands. We don't have the mindset of coming in the street to protest. So I believe probably there should be a protest, or maybe the planning of protest, but anyone caught in the street using the name of Army wife to protest, they should be penalized, because they should use the background they come from. We Army wife, who got ready to protest, we use our name, Army Wife Association, and now we don't want to be bothered with people using our name, because I think it's impersonating here. We Army Wives Association of Liberia, I repeat again, have no intention of getting on the street to protest. We are not rebel. We are not frequent-headed people to use protest as a means of I don't know what. No, we did it for a reason, and we done. No Army wife is trying to get on the street to protest against death of Sergeant Bernard Bobby. That is not true. I'm saying we're hearing a rumors that the Army Wife Association wants to protest, and I'm saying to say it's not true. It is not the Army wife. The people planning the protest, they should use the background of which they came from, not Army wife. Army Wife got ready to protest yesterday, as everybody knew. We used our name, Army Wife Association. We did not hide behind the curtains. It was known to the public. No, why would we be divided? Army Wife came out when you saw we was together, we united. AMIWIFE is an organization, a very huge and attractive organization that can never be divided because our husbands can be divided. Why would the wife be divided? I'm saying probably other people from out of the background of AMIWIFE trying to protest and using the name of AMIWIFE.
Madam Teridon Ray Walker is the immediate past president of the AMIWIFES Association of Liberia. They're speaking, dispelling rumors of a planned protest against the presidency. Former Ghanaian international soccer star Michael Essien is calling on the Liberian government and political leaders to collectively get involved with the fight to eradicate polio in the country. Addressing a team of local and international journalists in Monrovia Wednesday, Essien stressed that the participation of the Liberian government and all political leaders in the fight against polio disease across the country is key and it plays a major role in eradicating the disease. He noted that the consideration of this called by major policymakers in the country, including parents, political actors, and institutions, will help children stay alive and remain healthy.
Of course, I mean, all the government, all the politicians should get involved because we need our children to stay alive and healthy. So, yeah, I'll send a message across for them to take the initiative and make sure every children is a lot. It means a lot, as I said earlier on. Children are our future, and we have to really take care of them. And having this to be ambassador for polio was a great thing, and I'm fully supporting this initiative, and hopefully we can keep out this killers. The message is very clear. I would like to encourage all the families, all the parents to make sure they get their kids vaccinated because it's very important. I had it when I was little. I got vaccinated, so yeah, I can assure them it's very safe. And it's very good for the kids too. I will. The next time I come here, I want to see a zero polio. How do you say? Polio children. We want to kick out this killer disease. So I want to see a zero polio when the next time I come here, and of course across the West Africa as well.
Michael Essien is former Chelsea and Ghana legend there speaking. Also speaking, UNICEF representative in Liberia, Andy Brooks, said the selection of Michael Essien was in line with the UN body's strategies aimed at funding potential individuals with the brand recognition to adequately spread its message to targeted areas in the African region.
We're always looking for people, particularly people from the region, who can pass the message, and the message, he said it very well. The message is to get immunized, to get protected so that you can avoid the polio. And yesterday he was walking around he went to 2 or 3 health centers around Monrovia, and I could just see the way the populations were crowding around him. It gave them a lot of confidence. The fact he was there, the fact he was saying, I had that when I was a kid, look at me now, look what he's done in his life. And now he's given the message. He's giving back, basically, because he's appreciated what he had, the protection in his own childhood.
With EU exercise, what do you hope to achieve?
We hope to achieve much greater awareness, minimal resistance. You'll all know there are resistances to vaccinations, not only this one. So if you can allow people to really believe this is going to protect their kids, then you get 100% prevention of the disease. That's the ultimate ambition. It's just what he said. This disease has made so much progress in the world over the years, and we have to go really the last mile. Soccer's effective because young people love football. That's like a universal brand. Most kids all around the world will like football. So if they see David Beckham, if they see Michael Essien, it means a lot to them. Ronaldo. These guys can carry a message much better than anybody like me can carry it. So that's one thing, because of the brand recognition and because of everything they've done in their life. But they're not the only ones. We have goodwill ambassadors who are singers. We have goodwill ambassadors who are young people themselves. We have.
In remarks, Councillor Cole Bangaloo termed the presence of Michael Essien in Liberia as a boost for the country and sent a message in the fight to eradicate polio in Liberia.
So come here and take the kids instead of bringing them to school in Monrovia. They bring those kids and they send them in the streets to do street hockey. If you were to work with youth groups who have been working with kids or international groups and conduct interview with those children, they tell you that their stepmom or their auntie or somebody brought them to Monrovia. They're living with them. Their kids are going to school, and these poor little children are in the streets. This must stop. It must stop. Those children are growing up in the midst of people who got violent ideologies. And they grow up like that, and there's nothing peaceful that resonates with them. This must stop. And as a government, we have to attack this. It's not instantaneous. Don't think people who are being exploited, who are young people who are being exploited and are becoming violent is just an overnight thing. That thing about the kids that are exploited, this must be attacked. Mr. Inspector General, internal human trafficking is real in this country. It is real. So we need to attack that. The next thing that has explosive tendency, and I'm very happy the head of the motorcycle union, I'm told, is here. Chief, you're welcome. I want to work with you. This pimping thing has explosive tendency. Throughout, since I've been knowing myself, I've never seen vacancy for pimping rather.
Councillor Cole Bangalore there speaking. The National Road Safety Partnership of Liberia is calling on the national legislature to begin discussing the petition on public safety in Liberia. Appearing on a local radio station Thursday in Monrovia, the Chief Executive Officer of the National Road Safety Partnership of Liberia, Wia Kape, stated that his group is an NGO which focuses on road safety in Liberia.
We went to the national legislature and now formally presented this petition to them. And one of the things that I just mentioned are part of the points in the petition. And gracefully for us, we had the opportunity of having Representative District Number 14, Masurado County, Representative Muka Kamara, who is chairman on claims and petition, coming down, leading his colleagues when they were in session, came down to us and received the petition. So this discussion, particularly, in fact, the petition from the House of Representatives ground, we went straight to the American Embassy and presented the same petition to the Embassy of the United States of America. In there we had 13 solid points. Okay, and what are police carrying body cameras? Paying police. We also mentioned in a petition that's still there. Our call is for drivers, anybody who uses the road, because it's the right on our driving on our Liberian traffic law. Any vehicle is allowed to use the roads.
Wia Kape is the Chief Executive Officer of the National Road Safety Partnership of Liberia there speaking. The Secretary General of the Opposition Coalition for Democratic Change, Jefferson Koji, has accused President Joseph Boakai of not being in charge of the country. The former Monrovia City Mayor said, with the ongoing misunderstanding in the Unity Party government, he believes that the Liberian leader is lacking behind in terms of the governance of the state.
When the last time we said, we understand you are in it even before you begin, because we know exactly. Don't you want serious people? Mr. Boakai, like we said to you, your country is in an autopilot, a pilot in itself. We need a GPS to search who is in charge. Mr. Boakai is not in charge. The peace that was given to him, he needs to consolidate this peace. We're reaching to a point where we will not permit any further disrespect towards His Excellency Dr. George Manneh Weah. Very soon, the Liberian people will not permit the irresponsible and the reckless manner of behavior that is being shown and being displayed against His Excellency. This man served this country. He served this country before even having an opportunity to work in government. When this country was engulfed with civil unrest, when the legs of Bouakai founded the Lofa Defense Force in show where people were being mutilated in this country, when pregnant women were being disbanded in this country, it took a legs of Ambassador Weah, who had the title bestowed upon him, good UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador. He was disarming child soldier. The SOS, when parents were children could not find their parents, he invested over $2 million to ensure that sanity and opportunity be given to those people. Today, he's the same George Weah, given an opportunity to serve the country after 6 years.
At the same time, Jefferson Kogi once endorses Mayor Monrovia and the Liberian Council of Churches to intervene into the constant denial of former President George Weah from using the VIP lodge at the Rabos International Airport. Early Thursday, it was reported by Vision TV that former President Weah was denied the new and old VIP lodge while on his way to Accra, Ghana.
A lot of action and against you, but people don't remember the action they take. But you, the last to react, and sometimes people say, "Okay, why you did this?" It's good that you're going to see that Mr. Like Excellency is a very peaceful guy. He's been consistently disrespected, and Mr. Bouakai has become the newest paid bobo in the country.
Newest paid bobo.
Yeah, he's been paid, but I know all bobo are not paid. But for him, he's been paid. So he refused to speak on behalf of issues that he was tolerated to be able to address those issues. You see your code. Can you imagine when His Excellency Dr. Weah took over, what he did? He drove. Is that everybody wondering? He drove to Mr. Bouakai's house. Mr. Bouakai had yet to place a call since the president accepted and congratulated him. What kind of honor is that? Like you and somebody competing or anything? Not a call he has placed to even church or call any of the other political leaders in this country. You have an opportunity to lead the country, and that's how you're going to lead the country. And you think you can govern yourself in a way that people will be. Oh, what kind of posture is that? He haven't called. He never see the turn to even drive over. When Ambassador Weah was president, he drove. He was a neighbor. The president drove to him, treated him as an elderly state person. Today, his son work in the president government. Even people who were used as emissary.
He's the Secretary General of the Opposition Coalition for Democratic Change, Jefferson Kogi, there speaking at the press conference held on Thursday. The National Identification Registry is expected to hold discussions with the National Elections Commission on the possibility of working together in assigning one number and sharing data to curb tracking during the future elections. NIR's Executive Director Andrew Peters disclosed that to implement this proposal, the Identification Registry will be importing over 2 million blank cards to work with NEC to ensuring that all data for eligible voters be shared and assigned one number.
The issue with the National Elections Commission, during the process, we provide them the data. And the more important thing is that during the electoral process, it will be difficult for people to track people, because where you register, the information you provide here is the data we provide to the National Elections Commission. For example, you come here and say, look, I'm from district number 1 in Nima County, and you register in district number 1 in Nima County. During the electoral process, you have to go to Nima to go vote. you will not have space in this place. So assuming that a candidate come to you and say, look, I want to take you to Basel so that you vote for me. Normally it happens. I have something for you. So if you take it to Basel, you just go in there for nothing because your data will not be there. So it also help us to also be able to, for the district to be able to produce their direct representation.
Andrew Peters is the Executive Director at the National Identification Registry there. Still ahead of the news is the foreign news, but this story will set the pace for our foreign development. The management of SCAR International Insurance Company or Corporation has denied reports in the public that the institution is issuing fake documents to motorcyclists across the country. It can be recalled on Wednesday, motorcyclists protested at the Ministry of Transport about insurance companies providing them fake documents amidst regulation by the Liberian National Police on motorcyclists. But speaking to a team of journalists Thursday, the underwriter of the company, Moses Vapla, said SCAR Insurance is not involved into such height as being speculated in the public. Sorry, we can lay our hands on that, except that will now take us to Thomas Kojo Rolak, this time for our foreign stories. Thomas, welcome back.
At least 150 people are feared dead in a massacre in a village in central Sudan as they blame the Rapid Support Force, the paramilitary group fighting the army. The rivals have been battling over control of the country for more than 13 months. The RSF has not commented on the accusation, but on Thursday boasted of attacking 2 armed positions within the country. Footage circulating on social media after Wednesday's raid shows dozens of bodies wrapped in white cloth prepared for burial within a war-torn zone. The video was filmed by activists from a neighboring resistance committee, part of a network of local groups across the country, which back a return to civilian rules. The Medium Resilience Committee said it has now and is waiting for a confirmed report of the deaths and injuries within the country. The circumstances of the killing remain unclear. It is alleged that the village was attacked twice by the RSF fighters on Wednesday. Well, Hika, that's it for the foreign news.
Well, folks, on that note, that's how we'd like to draw down the curtains on tonight's edition of Freedom Even News Basket. 3/4 of an hour news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our global village. Before we take leave of you, let's remind you of stories that made headlines on the news program. Supreme Court of Liberia places stay order on President Joseph Boakai's Executive Order number 126, creating the Asset Recovery Team. As part of its efforts in giving back to its listeners, Radio Entertainment Liberia, in partnership with Freedom Radio Liberia, presents a brand new motorbike to the first winner of the Freedom Motorbike Giveaway Jackpot. AFL Wise Association dispels rumors of a planned protest action beginning this Friday. Terms of the information as false and misleading. And away from Liberia, at least 150 people I fear dead in a massacre in a village in central Sudan, blamed on the Rapid Support Forces, or the RSF, the paramilitary group fighting the army, according to the BBC. Thanks to you for your listening role. Thanks to our writers, reporters, editors, and contributors, and all those who helped in making to this edition of the news program a success. Anthony Stevens, Sarah Control AB, coordinated the sound aspect on tonight's edition of the program. Thomas Kojo Rolak was here with the news bulletin. On behalf of the entire team, my name is Hagar Gonda. I presented. Do have yourselves a God bless good night.